Hello and welcome to Don't Kill the Houseplant. What we have here is a rose bush that I picked up at a Safeway for $13. It did its old bloom thing for 4 weeks, and once the bloom started to fade, what I didn't expect is it started growing at about 3 or 4 inches a day. Like, this thing sucks back a solid cup of water every day. So I've been trimming it down, but it is time for it to move to its new home, which will be this here, complete with a bed of rock salt for it to live in. Well, actually that's white pea gravel. But I know basically nothing about botany. I know only what I learned from a cursory search online. So, you know what they say, a little bit of knowledge is all you're going to need. So today I am going to transplant that plant into this, and hopefully this doesn't wind up on fail army. Hopefully I do this right. So first off, a whole bunch of potting soil, and I got the smallest bag of potting soil they had, which is way more than I could possibly need. And I just realized I already took the rubber stopper out of this pot. So I'm going to put that back in before I fill it full of soil. I can always take it out later. And now I'm wondering where I'm going to put an open bag of soil down in my kitchen. Well, I do have something down on the table, so hopefully I don't wind up with dirt all over this table. Or soil, as people who know what they're talking about call it, or probably don't call it. That's for people like me who have no idea what they're talking about. Luckily, I figure extra soil is not really a problem. Soil is basically like the only thing that if you just like dump it in someone's yard, no one really cares. Is it normal that there's like wood in there? Or bone? Could that be bone? I mean, bone's good for... I'm not putting it in. Whatever it is, it's coming out. My plant's probably screaming at me like, "Yay, I really like that stuff." I do have a trowel. I left it outside. The downside of filthy hands means that I'm about to pick up the 12-year-old handy cam I'm filming this on. Try not to get a bunch of dirt on it. That's probably about as good as I'm gonna get. Should probably take out a bit of it. I can always put in more. More is easy. Okay. You actually getting any idea how much is in there? Or is that just like a black mass? Okay. Now, as long as I have the soil half empty, I might as well go ahead and dump some plant food in there. That looks like a lot more on the camera. I'm looking at the screen on the back of the camera. It looks like there's heaping piles in there. There's not. Or maybe that does constitute heaping piles. Maybe I've gone with way too much, or maybe I've gone with way too little. Like I said, my knowledge of this is a couple internet searches. Now, I haven't put a ton of thought into how I'm going to do this. I can use a knife to separate it from the pot. But what I'm going to do is realize that I need to be wearing gloves because this is a rose bush. Where do I keep my leather gloves? Okay, got my motorcycle gloves. Alright, so as I said, first thing I'm going to try to do is see if it's going to come out of the pot easily. I'm guessing no. Okay, now if this was a video game, this would be the point where I'd save. But I don't get that option here, unfortunately, so if I screw up, my plant that I've had for 2 months or 6 weeks or whatever is going to pay the price for it. Okay, it's not sliding out easily and I'm not about to grab it and yank. So, let's go ahead and grab a knife. Alright, let's see what I can do about loosening it up. Ow. This is the point. Okay, so I've been stung twice. Oh, no. I think I already snapped one root. Sorry. I swear I'm trying to do this right. You're probably miserable right now, but Hopefully, if I get this right, you will be a very happy plant very soon. Love this color, eh? I'm not used to roses looking like that, but it is a rose, or at least that's what it says on this this thing on the sides. Certainly when they were blooming up, it definitely looked more like a traditional rose. But I'd love to see this thing get 3 or 4 times as large. It is an indoor plant, and it meows at the door, trying to get let out, but we gotta set boundaries. Here's hoping I have loosened you up enough that you'll come out. On. Push from the middle. Okay, it's sliding out. Come on, stay together. Stay together. Oh, how about that? Looking good so far. And how about that? I didn't screw it up terribly yet. Okay, oh, poor guy. This guy's been like this for a little while. Still seems healthy enough. Cannot get him to stand up straight. I suppose I could do some sort of like twist tie type thing. I'm sure there's a much more reasonable way to do it than an actual twist tie. Although a bit of twist tie would work. Alright, so let's get this more front and center. Now, dirt. And I could do this with gloves on, but I think it would actually be much easier to do with the gloves off. And probably more entertaining because I am going to wind up getting stabbed by this plant 100 times getting all this dirt in. I haven't broken anything on my plant, have I? Okay, so for someone who has no idea what they're doing whatsoever, I'd say I did a decent enough job. I probably got lucky. I probably got lucky that it came out of the pot like that. Got quite a mess to clean up, but luckily I put down, well not luckily, cleverly I put down a bunch of stuff beforehand to at least pick up most of the mess. You know what? There's no way I'm going to successfully clean the bottom of this. What I now need to do is get this stopper out of the bottom. Hopefully the dirt doesn't all just like pour out. Okay, a little bit came out. Just go ahead and center this up. I'm going to get this down into this tray as far down as it'll go. Now, apparently indoor roses can actually get spider mites. I'm not really sure what you do about that. I'm pretty sure that's like a game over moment where you gotta like just throw away the plant. I can't imagine there's anything that would kill spider mites but not kill the bush. That's not even. So what you're supposed to do apparently is you put it on rocks, and as long as there's a little bit of humidity in the rocks, you don't get spider mites. Or at least that's what the internet says. But I am not an expert. I read stuff on the internet, and I am doing the stuff from the internet. And if you guys see anything I've done wrong, you let me know, because I like my little rose bush, and I want it to be big and strong and not die, because, you know, as much as keeping a houseplant alive seems like the easiest thing in the world, we all manage to kill them. Be curious to see how much bigger this can get now that it's in a proper sized pot. But that's not going to happen in the next 15 minutes or so, so that would have to be a follow-up video, and I will see you then. So a day's gone by, and it looks like the transplant has taken pretty well. If you're wondering why the blinds are closed, it's because, oh, I'm filming the houseplant is kind of a conversation I want to avoid with my neighbor. It has widened up a bit. Part of that was the plant itself. Part of it was me moving the stems around a bit so they take advantage of the space. But most of it's the plant. You see it's straightened out on me. I can't believe how quickly these things grow. So there are a couple blooms coming up on the top I didn't see before. There's this one, which my completely limited knowledge on the subject tells me is a is a bud. I think that's a bud. I'm certainly willing to take any suggestions as to how to get this to bloom more significantly. For now, I'm not going to be snipping it. I'm going to let it grow like a good another foot. It's got all the space in the world now, and with it being a bit lower, I'd like to, get it occupying that window. But it will need to be pruned at some point, so I would love any and every suggestion I can get. So hope to talk to you down in the comments, and if I get some good stuff and I actually manage to grow this into something without killing it, well, I'll bring you updates on my bush. Oh man. Until then.